Hey everybody, welcome back to another Get My Body Working YouTube video. Today I want to talk about how to rehab an ankle injury. Now, it doesn't matter what you've done to your ankle. If you can master these 5 things, you will have a perfectly working ankle. So let's get to it. Now, before we dive in, everybody, if you like what you see, hit the like button over there. Hit the subscribe button for me as well, help the channel grow, and leave me a comment. I'd love to know how you get on and how you're finding all these videos and whether they're useful or not. Okay. Now the 5 things you need to master to have a perfectly functioning ankle are, in no particular order: range of motion, plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, inversion, eversion, muscle length, anterior joint capsule, posterior joint capsule, calf muscles, toes. The next one, strength, heel raises. The 4th one, balance, tib post, peronei. How strong are they? They're the ones that support your ankle. Really, really important. And the last one is taking some impact. So jumping, hopping, running, shuttle runs, that kind of stuff. If you master those 5 things, you will have an ankle that is ready to do whatever you want to do with it. Depending on what you're doing with it, you've got to get the numbers higher, you've got to get things stronger, you've got to get more tolerant of that impact. So keep watching and we'll sort all those things out. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is range of motion. Okay, now the 2 big ones, plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, they're the main ones that really slow you down or hinder your improvement. So let's have a quick look at those. So dorsiflexion, so that's bending the foot backwards. Okay, so I'm in my kitchen today, so I'm going to use the bench here, just going to do a little soleus type stretch. So I'm going to stretch the back leg here. So I'm just going to bend my back knee. And as you can see, I'm really flexing that ankle dorsally, okay? And I'm going to compare that good and the bad side. And of course, they feel pretty even. Now, of course, if you don't have as much dorsiflexion on the bad side as the good side, that's going to be a massive problem. So that little stretch can be really, really useful to help you achieve that. I will talk about how long to hold all these things as we go along. Now, plantar flexion. How on earth do you assess plantar flexion? Well, you've got to get down on your knees. So let's get a yoga mat or a Pilates mat or something out there, because this is a tiled floor. It's really tough on the old knees. So here we go. I'll double it up for extra padding. Okay, so I've got my yoga mat down here, and I'm going to do the kneeling plantar flexion stretch test. Okay, so simply kneeling, sit back on your heels, and give the front of the ankles there a very, very good stretch, okay? Now that's pretty tight, as far as I can tell, but it's evenly tight for me. My right leg was a problem ankle. It was really, really tight. I couldn't do this for a good 6 months when I decided to rehab my ankle, but now I just keep checking it every now and then. So this is going to give the front of your ankle a really, really, really good stretch, and it's an excellent way of restoring that plantar flexion. Now, if you thought you had full range of motion, but you're finding this really tough, then this is something you definitely need to add in. And of course, if it's not a problem at all, bingo, job done, box ticked. All you have to do is maintain this every now and then with some stretches like this, and that'll sort you right out. Now, if you can't get there at all, okay, what you need to do is still get on your knees, load your bum up, load this area out with some cushions, and then you gently sit back, and through the cushions, you're pushing your foot into that plantar flexion position and give the anterior portion of your ankle a nice stretch. I will give you a demonstration right now. Okay, I've got some sofa cushions. I'm going to pop them here on my legs, tuck them in a little bit. Okay, now I'm simply going to sit back, and through those cushions, I'm putting some pressure through my anterior portion of my ankle. I'm giving it a nice stretch, so I don't have to sit all the way back. Now, you can get more cushions in there and just get as much stretch as you can tolerate, but that is an excellent way of getting that part of the ankle moving. The next thing we need to master is balance. Your tib post and your peronei muscles are essential for supporting the ankle. They pull the ankle into inversion and eversion, and when you're on one leg, it's those muscles that are providing the stability, not your calf muscle, as everybody commonly mistakes. That's there just for power and propulsion. Okay. Now, my favorite exercise to master for balance is balancing on one leg. Simple as that. Now, what you have to do it properly is get your test leg. You want to lift the arch of the foot up just ever so slightly. Try and keep your toes relaxed as best you can, and then you stand on that leg, maybe hold on to something to start with, and then when you're ready, let go. And you simply have a balance. Now, you're trying to lift up the arch of your foot, and you're trying to relax your toes as you go along. It's not a pretty exercise. You start wobbling all over the place. There you go. But after a little while, those muscles on the side of the foot, the tib post and the perineal, start to be working really hard. Fantastic. So now we need to maintain this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, or even longer, depending on what you need to do with yourself. These muscles have an endurance role. You need to train them to have loads of endurance for them to work properly. So 5 minutes sounds like a long time. It's not an exciting exercise, but it's certainly super duper effective. Now, this is something you must master in order to sort your ankle out. Now, along the way, it's going to get pretty boring. So you can challenge yourself by mucking around with the balance mechanisms in your inner ear. So don't close your eyes. You need your balance for your eyes. You need your eyes for balance. But what we're going to do is just turn your head left and right. Okay, and then pretty soon that makes it a lot more wobbly. Maybe look up and down as well. Whoop, okay, and you're just trying to keep that balance in your foot. There we go. Oh, okay, I'm working really hard now. Okay, cool. So just with a little bit of head movement, I'm making this a lot more challenging. Okay, now how long should you do that exercise for? You want to try and build that up to a good 5 minutes. Okay, that's a long time, but it's all about endurance with these muscles. But of course, you need to compare your good leg and the bad leg. They've got to be pretty much the same in order to have 2 functioning legs. Fabulous. The next thing is going to be strength. Okay, and we're going to do that doing the simple heel raise. Okay, now this is a tough maximal test. The normal averages is about 30 to 35 repetitions of a single leg heel raise. So that's what you're aiming for. So I'm just going to give you a quick demo of the single leg heel raise test and then see how you do. So you're going to hold, I'm in my kitchen. I'm going to hold onto my kitchen sink here. I'm going to stand on the test leg, other leg up in the air. And it's quite simply, we're going to go up and down, 1, 2, and we're just going to do as many as we possibly can. Okay, and I want you to keep going and just count how many you can possibly do, okay? And then write that number down. That could be the good or the bad leg, doesn't matter. And then have a go on the other side. Off you go and count how many you can do. It's got to be pretty even, okay? Now, the reason it has to be pretty even is because of simple maths, okay? So let's say that the difference between the good leg and the bad leg is 5 reps, okay? Now, that doesn't sound like much, but that is massive, okay? So 5 times your body weight is what the bad leg cannot deal with when you're doing stuff, okay? So 5 times my body weight, let's just say I weigh 100 kilos, that is half a ton. That is half a ton of load that your bad leg cannot deal with. That is massive, okay? So that's why the bad leg or the weaker side or the tighter side always gets the problems, okay? So you've got to even these things up, okay? Cool. Now, the last thing you need to master, number 5, for a fantastic ankle is impact. Okay, now, I would always leave this one to the end, master all the others first, because if you don't have any of those things, jumping, hopping, and running around on your ankle is probably going to irritate it, okay? So master those things first. Now, like I alluded to just a second ago, the first thing would be jumping. So very simply, just going to do a bit of jumping. So jumping on the spot, how does that feel? Compare your good leg and your bad leg. Are there any problems? Do you feel confident? Good. Okay, if you do, forward and backwards. Forward and backwards. How does that feel? Good, bad, ugly, confident. Okay, and then sideways. Bit of sideways action. Don't fall over. Okay, cool. And then last thing, a bit of a twist. Okay. So, ta-da! Jumping. How did that go? If that went well, fantastic. Well done. You're on to the next thing, which is hopping. Good stuff. So, hopping, same thing, on the spot. Hopping, on the spot. How does that feel? I'm getting out of breath. Okay, that feels good. Okay, forward and backwards. Forward and backwards. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, that feels good. Sideways. Very good. I'm on a hard surface and my poor old feet are getting a bit battered. Okay, that's okay. And then twisting, twisting, twisting. Da, 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 da. All right, ta-da! So, jumping, hopping, tick. If you can do those comfortably, confidently, you're ready for the next thing. Okay, now I'm not going to do the next thing because it's a shuttle run and I'm a bit out of breath and I don't have the space right here, okay? So how would I test someone running or doing the shuttle run test? So 10-meter track, nice and smooth, clear of clutter. And I would say run from one end to the other end, gentle jog, turn, come back. And I just keep doing that 3 or 4 times, see how they're doing. Okay, so jogging 50% of max, shall we say? Then I would say, right, let's try 60% of max, back and forth, 3 or 4 times. Okay, that's feeling better, cool, confident. What about 70%? Okay, 3 or 4 times. Okay, what about 80? What about 90? What about 100%? Right, yeah, obviously not that fast, but you get the idea. So, and it's all about whether you feel comfortable, whether you feel confident, and whether you know that your leg feels ready to go. So if you can tick all of those 5 things, you will have a fantastic ankle ready to get back to what you want to do. Now, of course, you need to think about your specific sport and what it requires, and then add in some extra things to get you back into that. Now, that could be more strength work, more flexibility work, more agility work, or just endurance work, okay? So have a good think about that. A good physio or a sports therapist can help you with that, or usually associated with your sports team. But they're the basics. If you can do those 5 things, you will have an ankle that is ready to go. Okay, everybody, now I hope that's been very, very useful. Please subscribe, like, and leave me a comment and let me know what you think. And I'll see you on the next video. Take care, bye!